Hello, everyone. I hope it's a day in Ari. Welcome, everybody, to the latest Newcastle United Women's podcast. It is international break, which nobody really likes. Yes, Ireland are playing England tomorrow. Funny enough, I'm in the all green here, so representing Bruno, of course. I have my esteemed colleague of mine on this podcast, Mr. Joe Kenja Linsdell. Easy for me to say. How are you, sir?
Yes, my good sir, I am very fine and almost in true fashion to that. I'm sporting the No Shields top, looking almost like the England colours. So, we're definitely going against each other. But, no, I'm good. Just, international break this early in the season. It's just like, oh,
Too
come
early,
on.
isn't it?
It's way too early, man. We've had, what,
Three
four
games.
games?
Three league
No,
games, yeah. It's mental, isn't it?
come on.
Absolutely crackers.
Shouldn't be happening. But that's why we bring the podcast, isn't it?
It is. Joe's actually controlling it all tonight, so throwing him in the deep end. So he's controlling it. I'm presenting. I've done the graphics. I've done a little bit. That's Joe's next step. So he's presenting. No, I'm presenting. You're controlling.
Yes.
Do keep your comments coming in. We are live across Twitch and we are also live on YouTube as well. We've got a lot of rattle through tonight. We've got loads of stuff such as the two new signings. We've got obviously contracts with Becky. We've got some League Cup fixtures. We're going to talk a little bit or what's happening this weekend as well, and a little announcement as well, which you might see on our socials as well, which will come out. And we've got a little quiz. We have. And I think we should start it off. We're going to give you a quiz, and I want you to play along. If you're watching the rerun, just play along. If you're listening on the audio, just play along. Just play along with it. Now, this could be anyone. This could be a staff member, could be a player, could be an ex-player, it could be someone from the media world, it could be anyone. But I think the clue kind of gives it away a little bit that it is a player. Clue one for you, everyone. I currently wear the number 4 shirt. Remember, this is women's football. I currently wear the number 4 shirt. That is your first clue of today. We will come up a little bit later. If you haven't guessed that, we'll give you another clue and another clue later. Then we'll reveal who it is a little bit later. But, yeah, we're trying to make it interactive, aren't we, Joe?
Yes, just a little bit. Give you something, something for you to think about, something you have a bit of fun with. Throw your guesses in the comments. Obviously, I currently wear a number 4 shirt, women's football. There's a lot of options there. It leaves it quite open. It's a good one to start off, Lee. I think it's going to have a lot of people questioning things. But, yeah, this is going to be fun for you all, I think. There's a little bits for add in and have a bit of fun with it.
It is indeed, yes. So, well, shall we get to it? Let's get to the news. Becky Langley has signed a long-term contract. I want to get up a couple of quotes, what she said, Joe, if you can pull that up for me on screen. So Becky Langley, and this is what she said about signing her long-term deal. I am delighted to sign a new contract and keep the pursuit of my goals at Newcastle United Football Club. After speaking with Paul Mitchell and Sue Cumming about the ambitions for the team and the club, it just made my enthusiasm even greater for this exciting project. I will give everything to achieve our aims together, and I'm unapologetically ambitious for Newcastle United Women. I love that sentence. Love that.
Yeah.
Here's to an exciting future. Joe, thoroughly deserved, isn't it?
Massively so. The work she's done just in the past 2 seasons alone, never mind for the longevity she's got with the club and the work she's done. It's something massively deserving. I mean, it was one of those where I think it just sort of like, you didn't really expect a big announcement about it. You just sort of thought, oh, Becky will be here for a long time, she'll be here till she can't do the job no more, you know what I mean? And I didn't really think that this was going to come. It was just a given. I thought she probably would have signed a contract last year that lasted for years and years. But she hasn't. Hopefully she's signed a decent length contract. Hopefully she's getting heavily rewarded for the work she does. It's well deserved. I love it.
It is. What's been highlights?
Oh, highlights for her. Well, obviously you can't go and talk about Becky Langley's highlights without talking about back-to-back promotion. It's straight up, and not only during that back-to-back promotion, she had a very, 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 very good cup run. Making it to the final, being able to be knocked out by Manchester United in the FA Women's Cup. Yeah, that's just recent. You can't go on about how long she's been doing this for, how long she's been really investing her time at the club. I mean, at one point she would have been voluntary. she would have been coming here and she would have been, I mean, for as long as I've been coming, Becky Langley's been manager. Leif, I don't know how long you've been going, but you've probably seen Becky Langley for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, and you look at her working through the system and some of the players that she's been able to coach and change into, I mean, 3 years ago when I first started coming, would I really expect us to be going into the championship and still retaining Katie Barker and Georgia Gibson? Nah, nah. Becky's been able to coach them players into really, really, really good stars. Quite honestly, that's where they are now. That's another massive accolade, and I think that's almost as big, if not bigger, than the back-to-back promotions. The fact that she's brought players through them back-to-back promotions from the very ground. I'd be interested to hear what you think your highlights are, Lee, because you've been doing this journey with Becky Langley for a lot longer than me, and you've had a lot more interviews with her.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned obviously the back-to-back. It has to be that, but I think going full time would have been a change for her as well. And I've told the story before when she first come in after Andy Innes. Just after a bad result, she didn't want to do an interview, and I always tell that story. She didn't want to do it and face up to the camera, and I think that's where she's grown a lot. I mean, she was 23 at the time. Just came in, wanted an interview, and she messaged me personally later on social media and apologised. And that was lovely. That was like, do you know what? Fair play. Because we were disappointed that we didn't get the interview, but she's grown. She's had to make some tough calls, business calls, not just personal as well, in terms of who do we keep, who do we let go. The challenges of obviously having to progress, and I mean she's ambitious, and that line of unapologetically ambitious. I just love that. That's got to be a banner, isn't it, by War Flags in it at some point this season.
No doubt that's going to be a banner. One thing, and I said it to you straight away, like about that line. That for me was a one where she's like, look, she makes the tough decisions in the club, which a lot of managers throughout life, not just in football, can't make them decisions. They struggle to make them decisions to get rid of maybe, like we say, fan favourites, or maybe get rid of very popular people, but it's for the benefit of the club. And at the end of the day, she is here, regardless of her allegiance to the club, which helps massively. She is here to better this club, and I think that's a massive, massive point about unapologetically ambitious. She wants to take us to the top, and as a fan, what more do we want? You've
got to remember as well, she's doing two roles when she first come into the job, because she had the job at Newcastle Uni, of course, where she knew a lot of ex-players, and she's been, she didn't just start off there, she's been down Nottingham Forest, because she had a lot of collections there. She's been an ex-player herself, which a lot of people do forget about.
Yep.
As well. I want to read out just a couple of comments which have come in. Josh, lad, good to see you back as well. Josh was down at the fan zone, and he also had I'm sure he told me that day that he had a stadium tour. I'm sure he did. Yes. And obviously I was over Philadelphia and the USA as well, so he was visiting the men's as well. He's gone to say, I'm so thrilled to have Becky locked up for a long-term deal. I totally agree. And Graham has also said, I hope it works out for our success. Does increase the demands from fans as well, but we will probably touch a little bit on that later on when we come up with when we're playing London City Lionesses. But Paul Mitchell has also had his say, hasn't he, Joe?
Yes.
So Mitchell has said Becky's new contract is fully deserved. I've been in constant contact with her since arriving at the club in the summer, and I've been hugely impressed. It's clear to see that Becky's talent and the potential she has in her coaching career. I'm looking forward to working together and supporting Becky, the players and the staff as we build towards our ambitious objectives.
Yeah.
Oh. Nice words from Paul Mitchell, and which is great. And now Becky has also said on video that she communicates quite a lot with Paul via WhatsApp voice notes. You know where I'm coming from.
Becky Langley is taken from you straight away. I'm the Paul Mitchell. You are the Becky Langley. I tell you now, voice notes all over.
Me and Joe don't ring each other. We just voice note each other. And sometimes they can be 3 minutes, quite long, mini podcasts, put it that way. But we're always talking about football. It's always good football. So yeah, that made us giggle a little bit when I seen that, and that reminded me of me and Joe's relationship there. So it sounds positive, that, and hopefully that continues as well. Andy said he's anxious for Sunday. Oh, don't be, man. Enjoy it, man, Andy. It would be nice to see the lasses do this season. Just enjoy it, man. Whether you're watching it, it is live on YouTube, but I'll be down there as well. Who starts as goalkeeper? Ask us that question a little bit later. Please, we'll hold that. We will hold that. But we've been busy in the transfer market. We have indeed. We have signed 2 players, but we'll come on to the first one. which is midfielder Lewis Joel has signed. Ironically, she's just left London City Lionesses,
Yeah.
and here's what she said about a move. It's a really exciting time to join this club. I met Becky and the girls, who were all so lovely, and I felt like I could fit in here straight away. It's a big club, and one that's on the up with the women's team. The girls have done really well to get promoted from Tier 3 into the Championship, and I hope I just bring a bit more experience in the league because it will be a few different challenges. I can play in a couple of different positions as well, so it's good to be able to give Becky some options, and hopefully I can bring some good vibes too. Good vibes.
Well, to pick straight up, sorry to jump straight in here, Lee, but to pick straight up on Lois saying that, good vibes, just before I jumped into the Evo Max stream, I went and I watched a little video that they've just released, and it's of mostly the goalkeepers training, but right at the start, Lois Joel is literally like having a banter on. She's like, "How are you, the lasses?" And it's really good straight away to see that sort of like attitude. So yeah, she's bringing the good vibes already in my eyes. Like definitely she is. But great signing, great signing.
It is. She was captain, so Becky's got another leader.
Yeah, yeah. Becky did have some.
On that. Come on, help me out, yeah.
Becky's actually got some work on it as well, hasn't she? She's definitely made a great signing with another captain.
Yeah, she has, and Becky's gone out and said it's great having Lewis on board. She's really talented, versatile player, and having captained the London City Lionesses will bring great experience to the team. Lewis is determined and intelligent player and person, and I'm delighted that she's joined us. So that's what Becky said about it. But she can also play, I believe, right back as well, Joe. So there's a couple of options there because predominantly she likes to play in midfield, and that's where she played last season. But she's also filled in at right back too, so competition's going to be strong in the squad.
It's another testament of when we were going on about Becky Langley's highlights and accolades before. It's another testament of the Becky Langley era, if you would. Is if you notice most of our players, and it continues through the ones that she's signing, Becky's actually been able to sign players who are very versatile. They can switch and shift. You know, you look at Amber Stobbs, she's played centre back, she's played midfield, she's played central defence. Hannah Greenwood, and now Lois Joel's adding to that group of players as well, where you can switch her about. If you're lacking in one area, shift Lois over. She might do better in that position. It's a really, really strong signing to be the last signing of the window as well, by the looks of it. I mean, we're hit 25 now.
Yeah.
I think that is possibly one of the biggest steals for us. Yes, I do, because our first opponents have now got to go straight back against their captain. And I get it. Maybe there's a reason. Yeah, it's going to be strange for her. It's going to be strange for their team. And if we can hit the ground running, because Andy, I know Lee said don't be anxious, enjoy it. I'm going to try enjoy it, but I am a little bit anxious too. But seeing Lois Joel officially confirmed, because there was some pictures released elsewhere where we're like, that's Lois Joel. You're like, oh, Man United, that's Lois Joel.
I think it was Craigsy. I think it was him on the social media team. I like what he did with the hiding face. So we've got a sign and announcement coming shortly, and they kind of played along with it. That was good crack. Good
and they even posted a picture of the back of her head. Like, can you guess who it is? And it's like, yeah, you know the image we all saw. You know it. No, but I think bringing that sort of signing in last minute is it's great. It's gonna put fear into teams like London City Lionesses and some of the teams who've played against Lois last season. Like, yeah, it's going to be interesting, this one. Like, I'm buzzing with it.
It is. It's squad depth, which we will look at the squad very shortly. But funny enough, we've signed a mate. Ironically, it wasn't planned, but we have signed Isabella. I give her official name, but everyone's going to call her Izzy on loan. And this is what she said about it. I'm delighted to have got this signed, sealed, and delivered. There's a song in there somewhere. I'm yours. Before the season starts, the Championship is a tough league, but with the ambitions of the club and the fans backing, I think we can go on and have a great season for everybody. When I got off the train and I walked around the city centre, I was amazed by all the Newcastle shirts. And then when I visited St James's Park, it was pretty surreal walking down the tunnel and seeing this stadium. I'm excited to play the 2 games that we'll have there, as well as the games at Kingston Park, and I'm playing in front of this great fan base. I can't wait to get started now. So that wasn't planned, signing our pal, but I think, Joe, that'll actually help us settle in a lot quicker, having one of our best pals already signed.
Yeah, it makes you fit in that much better in places. I mean, like, one thing I seen when I went and seen Sestria was the whole joining between like Nikki Giaz and Anna Soulsby, and even seeing them with some of the Borough players. We'll get more into that later, but you're just being able to gel better if you've got someone you know there, if there's someone who you, especially if you, by the looks of it, them two are quite close friends as well. So, and I mean, you look at the likes of Body and Hales, like they're two players who, as soon as Hales come in, Hales looks like she's just fit straight into this squad. Like she's got a group of pals with her. Like, yeah, man, I think that's going to help Isabel as well. I definitely agree. I think it's going to be Izzy. But
Yeah.
yeah, people are going to call it Izzy, but it's a very interesting sign.
That's what I was about to ask you. Obviously, she suffered an ACL last season, played towards the back end of Palace's successful promotion, wasn't it? And she's played something like 8 games towards the end of the season. She needs game time, but Becky's obviously. Let's pull it up what Becky said about her, Joe,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about her as well. So this is what Becky said. Izzy is a creative. It's definitely Izzy now. Izzy is a creative player who have been interested in since last season. She's fast, she's technical, and her personality and drive match our ambitions at Newcastle United. Her loan move will be good for our development. Again, it will further strengthen our positive relationship with Crystal Palace. We're very excited with Izzy's potential. So I guess we've got to see how she gets on, Joe, because it's only a loan. Everyone else is permanently signed. And as I mentioned, she had the ACL. She needs to play games. Obviously, she's close to Lewis, which will help. But where's she actually going to play, though? What's she being signed as?
So if you want to sit and look at the Newcastle United website, she's been signed as a midfielder. Now, I personally think it's one of those where, I mean, people are probably going to shoot us down here, and you can tell we're going to talk about it later, but I think it's a one where it's very much like a Anna Soulsby style signing. Anna could play central midfield. She could play forward. She could play the wing. I don't think we're going to be seeing Izzy in defence. Don't think that's ever going to happen.
Maybe pull back?
Nah. I think she's going to be strict as like a number 10 role, and maybe switch into the wing. Maybe once or twice, depending what happens throughout the season.
Yeah.
Touch wood, no injuries. Maybe she'll push in as a centre forward at some point. But I do think she's going to be playing more of an attacking midfield role, judging on some of her stats, judging on some of her play. But yeah, she's coming from Chelsea as well, so she's one of those players who, again, the Chelsea Academy, sorry. She's one of those players, again, who should be, realistically, very, very skilled at multiple roles. So it'll be interesting. It's back to that Becky Langley testament of having players who can do everything, like mint. Maybe she'll play in goal.
Well, I think we've got. There is another question about why is Al asking about goalkeepers, man?
I know.
Calm yourselves, dude. Calm yourselves. John has also asked. We'll answer that later because me and Joe have done a lineup, so we'll answer that later. Hi guys, who do you think will be Mona Donnelly, who starts in goals? But do you think the lasses will do well? I'll give you that one, Joe. Don't give the goalkeeper away. Do you think Newcastle will do well?
Do I think Newcastle will do well? In this season.
Can I before you answer that? Now, Becky was asked that by Dan King. And Becky didn't say, because last season said we want promotion again. And that wasn't the case in that video interview when she signed a contract. She said, obviously, unapologetically, same lines as well. I don't think the ambition is to get promoted this season, although I would love it to. I personally think, I'll give you my 50 pence piece, I think we'll finish top 5. And I'd love to be proved wrong and go even higher. But I think at the moment with this squad, top 5, I think is probably more realistic. I don't know how you feel, Joe.
So for me, when it said, do you think we'll do well? I personally think with the thresholds that we've already proven, with the ceilings that we've already smashed, I think the lasses can definitely go out there, and unless we were to be relegated, it's not. But if we were, that's the only way we do not do well. So, but to tighten that a bit, I've said before, I think we're finishing 7th. And that isn't a sense of we're having a weaker season, a weaker half season, whatever. It's just a matter of we're going into a massive skill gap here. Huge. And we can't judge ourselves too harshly on doing well. We need to focus on making sure we're solidified in this league to show that we're a force. And if we can go out there and we can do damage to some of the bigger teams, if we won all 4 of our derby matches, that is a massive statement, and that would be me walking out the back end of this season going, we had a great season, even if we don't finish in the top 5. For me, I think we'll finish 7th, and I think we'll solidify ourselves as a force to be watched in the top 2 leagues of women's football. If Super League aren't talking about us, and I mean multiple Super League teams aren't talking about us after next season, what have we done wrong? There will, and it will happen, and we just need to solidify ourselves. So I know that was a bit of a sit on the fence answer,
You know, you
John.
said 70 a little bit. Your
Yeah,
ambitions are a little bit lower than mine, aren't they? So
yeah. I'm
I
just.
thought top 5 was more realistic, to be fair. So
I see
70
it.
more or less, because there's only 11 teams, isn't there, this season?
Yeah.
So there's only 20 games. Josh from Phillies also asked the question about women's fixtures. How often will they change? Well, having said that, we were very, very anxious. Like, come on, man. How are you? With obviously the takeover of the 2 top tier leagues, like they weren't being very transparent with the fixtures, but I think they've started to get into gear. But Josh, I think you're pretty safe. The league games are literally majority are going to be on a Sunday, and a couple maybe on a Saturday. I think you'd be fine if you come over in January. There is a winter break as well, so you might just want to keep an eye on that. I think it is the 2 weeks leading up, or maybe 3 weeks leading up to December. So avoid that, but I think you're going to be all right if it's a day or
Yeah.
two. Maybe you can try and squeeze in a men's game whilst you're out there. You know what I mean? So if you're coming over, but we were a couple of weeks ago a little bit. How are you, man? How are you? What day is it? But I think the league's starting to get its basically put its shit together. I'll say it like that. With the
Yeah.
new, Joe did a video on the whole new, a couple of, what was it, six weeks ago or something? You did one.
About 6 weeks ago, I done one about Newcastle wanting them to just solidify things, and I think it was about 2 weeks after that, bish bash bosh, surely enough, new name, multiple different things.
Yeah.
It was great. It was good.
And there's a lot of it. They've got their own YouTube channel as well, where you'll be able to watch it live. It's not every game that will be live. The club have also inquired about going live at the stadium, but I don't know what the rules are. They have inquired. I don't think there's an answer back from that as of yet. But we'll see. We shall see. But let's have a look at the 25 women's squad, shall we? Because it is full now. So if Newcastle need to bring anyone in, someone's going to have to go. Obviously, yep. Daisy Burt has gone out on loan, so that's freed up a couple of extra places, obviously, with Izzy and Lewis signing there. So 25 women's squad, Joe. The new signings on the left. The statement one, it has to be Demi Stokes. It has to be. Obviously, she's won the Euros, man. She's won loads of trophies. But on the right-hand side, you've still got a lot of talented players there. Obviously, injury news at the minute. Emma Kelly is just coming back. I don't think she'll feature, though, this Sunday. Nope. And Jodie Bartle's just got a boot taken off her leg, so she'll not feature. And Becky Ferguson played for the Devs last weekend, so she's just come back from a long-term injury. She's back. But what I'm trying to get at, Joe, is Becky's got a good problem, hasn't she?
Very, very good problem. To not give away with keepers, but people keep asking, who do you think will start on Sunday? Who do you think will start in goal? And I think the reason everyone's interested in the goalkeepers is because we've now got the choice of 2 Golden Glove winners.
It's mad, that is.
The third and second top league, we have both their Golden Glove, the best goalkeepers in each league. What a better problem to have. Do you know, like, and you look at some of the players on that list, some of the signings, some of the names, like you see on paper, you see Demi Stokes at the top of that list, you go, wow. Well, for me, personally, looking at some of them, and after seeing her play, I'm like, we've got Shania Hales. Like, and she's going to link up
me much. Do you know what I mean?
We need that.
Isn't it?
I've been trying to think of stuff for that one, trust us. But I need to get Shania on side first and show that I'm not that much of an idiot. Wait till the first home game. But like, amazing problems. You think the squad's full and the only people who you look, if we're going to have to get rid of people, it's like, wow, that's going to be a hell of a skill jump.
Stick the list back on for us. Stick the list back on.
Yeah, let's get the list back on. Have a little look there, because as well, people need to start building their starting 11 in the comments. Josh, I'll be wanting one from you, my mate.
Yeah, because if you just look across all of the squad, you mentioned versatility, because a lot of them, well, it had to be last season. And even the likes of like Katie Barker moved from striker to left midfield and did a fantastic job. So she had to be versatile left wing, and that forced Casey Elson on the bench, and then she had to basically reinvent herself to become a right winger, more or less an impact player. And obviously Beth Lumsden can play in a few positions. Leah Cataldo, we expect her maybe to switch left and right this season. Obviously we've talked about a couple of the new signings, and really, there's only really probably out the new signings, maybe Amy Andrews is more or less a striker, Deanna Cooper, and probably the Demi Stokes out the outfield ones that are guaranteed only one position, probably, unless Amy moves out wide and we're chasing a game or something later on in the game. But she's got a good squad there, I think, Joe.
It's a very, very, very strong squad, hugely strong. You look again, like, I don't even think you mentioned Charlotte Potts there. Do you know what I mean? You can have Becky Ferguson again, another one who's just come back from injury, and Becky looks raring to go. She looks ready for this league. I mean, personally, for me, if what I go and turn around and say which one of them squad members is going to be possibly the star of the season, I think it's going to honestly be Jazz McQuaid. I think she's going to be a massive breakout star this season, and I think we might end up struggling to keep her. And that's a person who's came up through the squad, and like you saying there, you've got the likes of as well, Rachel Furness, Sophie Haywood, a stand-in from Amy Andrews, and we don't know a hell of a lot about Sophie yet.
No.
And when you've got Rachel Furness there as well, a player like Rachel Furness, the leadership you can bring. Fernie. Interesting enough about Rachel, actually, I don't know if you'd seen, she did put an Instagram post calling this the last chapter. So I think she is definitely, whether we'll get a year or 2 years out of her, I think she's looking to finish her career out at Newcastle, which, I mean, you've spoke to Rachel before, and she loves this club. And
she's been here before, hasn't she?
Yeah, bringing players like that into the fold is, it's so special, so special. Becky's got a squad filled with skill, with talent, with experience, with bags of leadership, a whole host of versatility, and last but certainly not least, like pride, heart.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think it is important to keep that Geordie DNA a little bit in there as well as we score, because naturally we will start to sign foreign talents as well. Ian's asked, is the game on TV? Not all of them, I must stress. They're still working on that. The non-live televised games, I think, are streaming for the club, but I think it's down to like contractual rights and stuff. But the opening game this season is. But just before we move on, I wanted to ask you about any more additions, because that's 25 now full up, or you mentioned maybe if someone's not getting game time because the transfer window is open till another week, I believe, a week today. I might be wrong on that. I'm sure that's next Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
You mentioned Becky Ferguson might go out on loan potentially, and that will free up a space, or do you think this is the squad now?
I think, and I'm just going to jump back to the squad list a second, right? I think realistically, the only reason and the only way we bring another player in is going to be an attacking midfielder who there was rumours about a couple of weeks ago, and who I have said for a long time I would like to come to the club. I called it months ago before last season ended. I think you might see a player like either Becky Ferguson or Casey Elson potentially go out on loan, and the only reason that would happen is to bring in the mighty Nikita Paris. I think that's it.
You want her. We'll see her later on the season. Don't you worry about that.
We will.
And if anyone
I'm going to be shouting at her.
I know if anyone was wondering, because they might have seen it in the Cellar Cup, we've got a new goalkeeper. We haven't. Hannah's got married and took a partner's surname, which confused a lot of people, including myself, to be honest. Like, who's Hannah Holmes? They got that wrong. Who's that? Yeah, so used to be Hannah Reid, of course. But we're going to go back to a little quiz that we had earlier. So we'll get up clue number 2. I'll just remind everybody at home what clue 1 was. Clue 1 was I wear the number 4 shirt currently. And clue number 2 is on your screen there, everybody. Clue 2 is I also have a career outside of football. So clue 1, I wear the number 4 shirt. Clue 2, I also have a career outside of football. Now, all of these clues are linked to certain individual who's either currently at Newcastle or ex-Newcastle. So forget your think and choose, hats on, boots, whatever you have on there. So there's your clues. We'll come back to clue 3 a little bit later. Of course, Newcastle. Yeah, or get your comments and have a guess if you don't know. You might look daft like us too, but yeah, get your comments in. Newcastle played a game last weekend. I don't know if you knew that or not. We did play Manchester United, and we'll bring up the starting 11. I'll just name it for the audio people that are listening on our podcast. If you are listening on podcasts, come on, 5-star, you know what to do. Yeah. So we've got the top left there, Liv Watt, Deanna Cooper, Leah. No, it's not Leah Cataldo. Now, is it Leah Cataldo? Because that was the talk, wasn't it, Joe?
It's Watt, Cooper, Cataldo. That is definitely Cataldo.
Yeah, because a couple of people saying that's not Leah Cataldo, and it is. It's Leah Cataldo. It's Fernie, Rachel Furness, Alicia Boddy, Shania Hales, and then we've got Jazz McQuaid bottom left alongside Beth Lumsden, our new striker Amy Andrews, legendary Demi Stokes, and Claudia Moan. What do you reckon of them jackets? They've just come out.
I'm a bit on the fence about them. I think they're a bit too. I'm not a big fan of just plain stuff. He says as he sits in this white t-shirt. But like, well, no, this is a bit pretty actually, right? But I just feel like it's a bit like, look at the badge and look at Adidas. Like, wow.
Do you know why
jacket.
I don't like it?
I'm not keen.
Do you know why? Because Manchester United have exactly the same one, but instead of their black Manchester United badge, it's exactly the same template. It's not unique for me. It's not unique enough for me. So I don't really like that jacket. No, I'll probably end up getting it. But yeah, when the winter comes, obviously, because I'll wrap up proper like this. Wrap up when it comes to winter.
Yeah.
So we played Man United. We did get beat, but at least it wasn't a 5-0 this time. Obviously, Manchester United maybe not the side that they were, and obviously there's a few pictures on your screen with some of the Man United. Obviously, we've talked about Nikita Powers. There's Liv Watt trying to tackle her. A few pictures of Newcastle sporting their lovely. See what I did, John? Third kit. But we got beat 3-1. Amy Andrews scoring again. But I wanted to ask you about the level of opposition, Joe, because we've played Glasgow City, we beat them. We played Milan, we drew with them, and then we've had a couple, 2 or 3, and I said MLS there, WSL sides. Has that been the right approach this summer?
I think, I'm not sure. I know there's been a lot of fans who don't think it's a better approach. Now, I was one of those, and I say that for a reason. And we'll come up to the cup draw soon, but it's to do with the cup draw. And I looked at the teams that we were facing, Everton, I can't remember if it was Liverpool or Crystal Palace, it might have been Palace, and also Man United. We didn't get the third result, and then you look at Glasgow City, again another high-end team, and AC Milan, definitely a high-end team. I think it's been a test that at first, before the cup draw came out, I was like, this is too much of a test. We're setting the bar too high. Like, we're running now, but you're expecting to jump 16 hurdles in a row. Like, slow down a little bit. And just, like, I was really nervous that I could affect the lasses. However, from every result, you've seen all the lasses talking about on social media. You're seeing them talking about how they enjoyed the time down there. And there was some stuff that came out. I can't remember where I saw the images, but they weren't just going and doing friendlies. They were going around the areas and they were doing training. They were doing like rock climbing, team building exercises, things like that.
More important.
Yeah. So
or just as important.
It's for me, it's just as important, especially when you're bringing so many new players in and losing some of the gelling players that were lost. So I think the opponents were very tough, but the players seem to have been given that downtime that they needed to sort of not take their losses too hard, or the comebacks that they had to make too, like, ooh, we should have been better. Angela, what's happening? But yeah, it's mad. But then when you come to the cup draw, and when the cup draw happened, I was like, aha, some of them friendlies were very, very useful. Very useful. And I think the most impactful one was the Manchester United one, because we were able to look back, and like you mentioned before, 5-0 to 3-1. I'm happy with that progress. I'm happy with that. You know, we're moving forward. It's what we want. We're getting better.
Yeah, we are. I'll just pause to have a look at the comments. Dale's in the comments. Dale knows the answer, so don't give that away. I already warned him in the WhatsApp. Don't give that away. A lot of you are trying to guess what the clues are as well. Clue 1, just for the quiz for everyone. I'll just repeat that again. Clue 1 was, I currently wear the number 4 shirt. So there's clue 1. And then clue 2 is, I also have a career outside of football. So there's your 2 clues. Who am I? We'll come back to the clue 3 a little bit later. And somebody's having a guess. I mean, I can only remember Keegan Stubbs as our current number 4, says Josh. And George has gone to say number 4 was the captain last season. I think she's called Amber Keegan Stubbs. Angela's in there. Hello, sorry, late at the party. It's not like you. It'll be late, Angela. Come on. It's not good enough, that, Angela. It's not good enough. Then Thomas has gone on to say, my Becky highlight was a reaction to Barker's winning header away to Wolves. Oh, that was brilliant. Love that. She knew that we had sealed promotion, marvellous moment, and that was captured perfectly by you guys. Thank you very much, Thomas. Yeah, I did ask her off camera when she was walking past. I said to her, literally, and she's not made me saying this, goes, Becky, that's a sign of champions coming back from like that. And she's, in the first time off camera, she went, yeah, I know, Lee, I know. Do you know, she always answers, yeah.
I do that so often now. You noticed, though, did you see that interview? A year's got shorter.
What's got shorter?
A year. It's just a yeah.
Oh, do you know what I thought you said? I thought you said her hair's got shorter.
Oh, no. I mean, I would notice that being such a hair guru myself. I would notice that, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
no,
we'll not
yeah.
talk about hair because I've got the lack of. But yeah, do keep your comments coming as well. So just sticking on obviously the Man United, we've played some tough teams. I was asking Dave, obviously Dave and Lorraine, who come to the women's game as well, and asking him about it as well. And it was a case of was it right and all this? I think it is right. As my cat I was trying to jump on their screen here, trying to get some screen time. My cat, I think, was right playing the bigger sides because she wants to see how far we are away with the new signings and different tweaks and formation and stuff. Don't get me wrong, we got outplayed by the Everton one and 4-0's like a bit of a hiding, but look, we're learning in this new league, and we will talk about the weekend coming up very shortly. However, that's before we move on. Actually, I wanted to ask you because this the same day when we played Grace and Fergie weren't with the first team; they were playing for the Devs. Do you read
Yeah.
anything into that?
I do a little bit, but more I read into it more with Grace than I do Becky. For Becky, she's just come back from injury. She needs a bit more game time. I think she's only played
Mm.
one, maybe two preseason games. You
And she's
know,
the
she's
same age, more or less, with the rest some other girls there.
yeah, exactly. I think it's a better way to get her in and get her momentum and her confidence up. I think that was a smart move. Me looking into Grace, I'll go into when I come to my lineups.
Well, I think because so far this season, like Hannah's played a full game, Grace has played a full game, Claudia has. I think Claudia was picked for this game, and Grace. I actually think Grace said, "Look, I want to play." I think
Yeah,
it's on. I think it's Grace has actually said that, not actually the management, because I know our mentality's like that. So I
yeah.
think she would have said, "I'll play for the Devs then," because the goalkeepers have already been picked ahead of it. So that was just interesting seeing those two. So do you think we'll see that more often this season? The intercross between the first team because she's got 25 players, and there's going to be a good 4, 5, 6 that are not going to be even on the match day squad. Do you think some of them will be moved aside and say, right, go and play for the Devs?
Yes, yes, because I think one of the biggest things in this league that is going to be a telling factor to how much we can compete is going to be fitness levels, and it's going to be the consistency. Now, we know for a fine fact that everyone always talks about being match fit. If a player misses 2 or 3 games, like they're not match fit. And I understand that. I'm sorry I'm doing the quotes, but I understand that to a degree. And I think that's what the Devs are going to be used for a lot. If someone's not had a couple of games and they're not expecting to start the next game, Becky's going to go, right. Say maybe it's Becky Ferguson, or maybe it's Emma Kelly. She's been out with injury or whatever. She's going to go, right, Emma, this Sunday go and play the Devs because they've got an opponent who could actually be tough. So like, I shouldn't say that. That's really disrespectful. A tougher opponent. We're Devs teams that good. Sorry to any other teams who we're Devs are going to go against, but they are really good. Angela's just said something there. They said on Sunday at the Devs they can have 5 max playing for them if they're on the first team. So yeah, 5 players. That's a perfect amount of people who might not be on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And you need them to play because they've not had a lot of game time. Yeah, I think it's going to be like a training ground for them. Keep them match fit while being competitive as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It will be, yeah, because if anyone's who's not familiar with the women's game, Devs are basically think of it as a youth squad
Yeah.
or an 21 squad. Think of that at the men's game because we refer them to Devs when shortened for development. So if you ever hear anyone mention it, you're like, what the hell does that mean, Devs? What's that? That's basically what it's referring to as well. We're educational here, Joe. We are. We're educating. We're educating the public. Now, Joe, you went somewhere very glamorous recently for the El Clasico, didn't you? I'll quickly have a little chat about this while you try and get it up. Durham City were playing Middlesbrough, weren't they? And that was a local derby, but there's a lot of involvement with ex-Newcastle players. How was it?
It was really nice, and it was quite magical, as you can obviously see the rainbow on screen. Was able to go down and see a lot of the fans who we're going to be seeing next season. You see Matt there, you see Chelsea. They were able to give us a lift down last minute. It was a really good show, and as you can see as well, there's a lot of fans there. There was a lot of black and white. I will say that, and there was a lot of likes of Pete Adnett, Ali, Anna's mum and such. There was a lot of Newcastle fans, but there was a big following for Middlesbrough and for for Durham Sestria from their own fans, which was really nice to see, because you kind of think we're the only ones who've got such a big following, and we're really not. We're down there to see the star of the show, Anna Soulsby.
I read.
But of course, Harry. She was the video is great. Go and have a watch of it. Anna has a great time. You'll probably recognise some of the other former Newcastle lasses on the lineups. Lauren Robson, who was actually my first favourite Newcastle United player. There is one for you. Lauren Robson. She was amazing. On the day. She's
Who are these people?
came on bags. You've got Pete, you've got Jamie in the orange there, you've got Alan Roberts, you know. We had a really good time down there, and it was nice to see the lasses continuing on and playing so well as well. Plenty chances, plenty shots on. We're seeing the likes of Kira Skelton come back from injury. We're seeing Beth Guy, we're seeing Lauren Robson, we're seeing Jane Holland, my Emmy's favourite player, Jane. Oh, and she remembered where she was congratulating the stuff that we'd done on the channel. Anna Soulsby, Nikki Gears,
Laura Wareham, Ellen Packham.
There's more Ellen Packham. There's so many down there, and I mean most of them are on Middlesbrough's team. But
now you'll go upsetting admins when you're saying stuff like that on social media.
You do. Ooh, they don't like that. But no, it was just to catch up with them and see how they're doing, and again to follow more women's football in the area, and sort of give it that coverage that I feel like it deserves, because we've got a massive growing community, and a massive growing I call it infrastructure. That's the word I'm looking for. Infrastructure in the women's game. And I think soon enough, people aren't just going to be talking about Manchester City, Arsenal and Chelsea. They're going to be talking about what's going on up here with, as much as I hate to say it, but they've got a great women's academy. Sunderland.
They do. Half of our team come from there.
Come from Sunderland, exactly. Newcastle. Do you know, like, we're going to be teams that are talked about in the women's game soon. It was really good showing. But I did knock Sestria out, but it was what it was. It was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I do advise anyone to go.
And I was about to say, it's international break. Get yourselves down to a game if you're not a Newcastle United Women this weekend. Even non-league, Saturday and Sunday. If you're not doing now, go and support your local side. Fantastic show. So, you know, we'll come to that later with a little announcement as well. That kind of links it up nicely with that.
Sorry, but before we go on as well, there was a point that slipped out my head that's just come back that I did want to make a point of. Jodie Bartle, Becky Ferguson, Jazz McQuaid, and Hannah Greenwood were all down there supporting their former players and the friends. Lush. Got to speak to Jodie, got to speak to them all. It was nice, really nice. But yes.
I think that was lovely, because that same night, ironically, I was at the Forest game, and I seen Naomi Badou and Bridget Galloway running down speaking to Serena as well. So that was really nice as well. So as you say, it goes back to that community feel that you get with the women, then you do more with the men. So that was great. So keep an eye out. We'll be dropping down once or twice this season, and we've got a lot of stuff on NFTV Extra. Thanks to Joe for some of his women's coverage and North Shields as well, as he's presenting them on visual if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch. So that was nicely. And we're going to come on to the third clue for you. So the third clue is for everybody. Who am I? I am one of the big contingent of ex-Newcastle players at Middlesbrough. So the first clue, I wear the number 4 shirt. I have a career outside of football. And number 3, clue 3, of course, is I am one of the well, there's that many of them. I think it's 10 now. Ex-contingent Middlesbrough players. So really, you can kind of work that out now. No cheating, though. Come on, didn't use your Google. That should have narrowed that down very, very quickly for you. So we'll come back to that once we've talked about this weekend, because we're going to approach that next.
I was just about...
We don't know, Angela. You might be wrong, Angela. Does she wear that? I don't know. You could be totally wrong. I don't believe Angela. Angela's having a guess at a certain player for the people that listen on audio. She might be wrong. It might be a trick question. Wink, wink. We'll come back to that a little bit later. We will. However, starting 11s. Yes, we have them. We're going to look at both sides. Get your predictions in as well in the comments what your 11 will be. If you haven't got time to write all 11, maybe give us your goalkeeper or maybe your striker or whoever. But the goalkeeping situation, a lot of you asked a little bit earlier. Joe, reveal your starting 11,
Me
and
first.
reveal your goalkeeper.
My goalkeeper is Claudia Moan. I think Grace this season, as much as I love Grace, I think Grace loses that number 1 position this season. I think she goes to number 2, and I think that was seen with the devs. I know you, Lee, see you think it's Grace asking for the time, which I do, I believe. I don't think that could be wrong. I only think it's wrong because I think it's a matter of keeping Grace fit. We can't let Grace slip now. I really don't think we can. So I think Claudia Moon is going to start. I think we're back 4 is going to be Leah Cataldo, Deanna Cooper, Charlotte Potts, Olivia Watt. I do think we're going to a back 4 again. Makes me feel very comfortable, even though I got comfortable with the back 3. Cataldo and Watt are 2 players who can just blast up the pitch, and I think we've seen enough of Cooper and Potts to know that they can do a job, and they'll stick centre back and do a tight job there. I then think Demi Stokes will be coming on in the second half and making a big impact. Body, Greenwood, Stubbs, Hales, and specifically Body and Hales together, because I think that they are going to be the star pairing this season. I don't think you're going to see many people take them 2 out of their position because of the way they play alongside each other. Hannah Greenwood is filling the same sort of role that she did last season, the same with Amber Stubbs, but I think we're going to see Amber Stubbs pushing up the pitch a bit more this season, sitting more central midfield, switching over to the right, the left, playing more of an attacking role. Up front, I think Amy Andrews is going to take the more centre forward position. I think you'll see Barker dropping back in more of maybe a number 10 role, switching into the wings. But I think it's going to be one of those where, due to the versatility of the 2 of them, you'll see Barker and you'll see Andrews switching left and right. You'll see them switching into centre forward and number 10 roles, left, right, and centre. But I think no matter what plays, I think something roughly along that. It's a strong 11. I do.
I need to
Very
grill
strong.
him. I need to grill him. You can grill my lineup in a minute. How the hell have you left out Demi Stokes?
Well, I'm actually going to do something here. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to go back a second, right? And I'm just going to check a message that I sent earlier, right? And
He's digging a hole. He's digging a hole.
I'm pretty certain. And I've went along with Cooper there.
I can't see, because this is what we think Becky will go with. It's not our 11. I cannot see her leaving her out, because she also worn the captain armband in some of the preseason games. I just can't see it. But it's interesting that you'll have to read that out, because people are listening.
That's my starting 11. And the people who are listening, I said to Lee at 12 p.m. today, Moan, Cataldo, Stokes, Potts, Watt, Stubbs, Greenwood, Body, Hales, Andrews, Barker.
Angela, that's a great question there. Who's going to be marking Aslani? I'm assuming she starts, because where will she play? Obviously, she's mid-30s now. She's not any young spring chicken, is she?
She's not. It's one of these where Deanna Stokes.
Because if she's playing on the right, that's great for Demi Stokes. Shanaza game.
Yeah, and she'll be able to line her off straight away. It'll be easy. I do think as well, though, as much as I said Olivia Watt and Cataldo can push up on the wings, I don't think we're going to see that as much this season. I do think they're going to be a bit more static at the back and holding the line, because we need to. It's very quick an attack and change now. Very quick. It's insane.
It's interesting as well that you went 2 up top as well. It's quite brave as well, because she doesn't normally do that. Let's bring up my lineup, because I agree with the back 4 in terms of it will be a back 4. I think Becky will revert back to that same goalkeeper. This time I've got Cataldo over on the right hand side, because she's been playing there pre-season, and you cannot drop Demi Stokes. I think it sends a statement out if you're not playing her. I was like, ooh, Lioness on the bench, cannot see that unless she's not fit, but. I think Furness will start as well for the experience. I don't think Fernie will play and start every game just because of her age. I think she will be managed at time as well, alongside Alicia Body. And then I think Barker, I would say similar to you, Joe, but I've dropped her a little bit in the number 10 because I think she's better there. I think her game's massive improves. I do agree with playing Shania on the left. I think that looks like a little bit of creativity, wizardry, unpredictability, if you want to call it that. And I think Beth Lumsden as well, and I think all those 3 behind Amy Andrews can swap around as well. They don't have to be like stuck in one position of the pitch. But I think it's almost guaranteed that it's going to be Amy Andrews up top. Is there any surprises from my lineup that you're looking at thinking, nah, I didn't agree with that, or strongly
One,
disagree?
one. As soon as you said it, and I get why you say it.
Is it Amber or Hannah dropped?
Well, actually, there's two, but there's one that I've got a major that's visual that you can see straight away is Leah Cataldo playing on the right back. I get it, and Nasha can play right back, but I don't think Cataldo knocks Watt out of that position. I just don't.
Defensively, I want to live there.
Yeah, I think, and I think that's what we're going to be going for. I think that's the focus that we're going to see. So I was a bit mad with that one. But then my second one, yeah, why Stobbs? Like Greenwood, we've seen her drop a couple of times, but why Stobbs?
Similar. I think you also look at sometimes last season she didn't start every game, not every game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, especially, I just think of like the Wolves comeback as well. The influence massively by her. So I think coming off the bench, if we're struggling in the game, as in we're struggling to score, get motivation, I think that's perfect. I think I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then
So who's your captain?
from that, it's got to be Demi Stokes.
Right.
And that's what I'm thinking. What Becky will go with. It's not like what I think because of my team would be a little bit different to that. But that's what we think Becky will go with as well. So there's your answer to the goalkeepers. So, so that's your starting 11 as well. And obviously, I wanted to talk about, if you bring up the clip with London City Lionesses, because they have massively got a lot of new ownership. They've got new management.
Mm-hmm.
They've got new signings. They now moved stadium. They're very, very ambitious, and I don't think this is an easy opener, Joe.
No, not in any sense of the word.
Like the signing from the top league in America, they're pinching youngsters from the WSL, and they've got Aslani, as Angela mentioned before. Some clever signings there.
It's a lot of these signings have got to all be impactful for teams. They've got to I don't know, with London City Lionesses, it's a one-way. I know people are thinking, no, we'll go into a first game, we'll dominate. It's a one-way. If we walked away, this is going to probably get clipped and people are going to look at this and be like, he thinks this. If we walked away with a loss of one goal and say they beat with 2-1, I wouldn't be massively disappointed because of the structure that they're building. They, for me, are in for a shout with, and I know there's a few teams, it's probably a 4-5 horse race this season. I think this is going to be one of the most intense championship seasons that has ever been seen or is ever on record. I think London City Lionesses are in for a shout with the title run, with the business they've done. Yeah,
she owns, is it Lyon Women? The name escapes me, and obviously they're huge in France, the biggest side in France by a mile. I've done an article on our website, haven't I, Joe? On Newcastle Fans TV about the game, NewcastleFansTV.com. I didn't even know the name of our own website.
Really?
You can have a look at the article. It's mental because I'm going down by plane. There's a couple of other fans going by plane. There's obviously a host of Newcastle fans gone by train, which you can see on the Newcastle Women's Facebook group. There's people driving there from all the way from places like Kent all the way down to Southampton. Are driving there, which is quite incredible. But I've done the article there on our website where you can read a little bit more about the community in the first game of the season, the excitement that it brings as well, because it's the first game of the season. We've waited a long time, Joe, 4 months since the last game.
It's been mad. It's felt so long. Yeah, I mean, even though obviously I've been doing my work with North Shields and I've been doing the work with Durham Sestri and stuff like that, and seeing a few games here and there, it's not that same feeling of the whole community being back together. Because it's not just about the games. It isn't. No one can lie to themselves. Who's a long time fan. Angela's testament to this. And even Josh, I would say he understands it. He's been to the games now. He's seen the community. But it's testament to. This isn't just about the players. It isn't just about the games. It's about the community. And yes, it's game time. It's time to get our heads down and start being serious. But we're still going to enjoy ourselves, and we're still going to bring everyone together and just have a genuinely amazing season.
The game
4
brings
months
us together, doesn't it?
Too long.
The game brings it has, and I think it was longer for you when it was the Halifax one. Yours So that even
Yeah.
a little bit longer for you. So it's a long, it is a long wait in the off season, and maybe that obviously we understand of the Olympics and stuff got pushed back a bit, and even if you're a WSL side, you've still got to wait another couple of weeks. And I think with Newcastle as well, we don't have the following week. We're not playing because I think we were meant to play Reading, so we've got the weekend off. So it's like, God, hey, it's like stop start. So it's like Newcastle play a game, and then we're off for 2 weeks again. So not great that.
And then what about the week you've got coming up, Lee, as well?
Oh, it's an awful week. So obviously I do the men's and women's. So we've got Fulham away on the Saturday, but then just 3 days later we're playing Wimbledon, which is more or less a few miles away from Fulham. Easiest thing to do, just stay down there, wouldn't it, for 3 or 4 days?
Yeah.
But no, Newcastle United Women decided to put a home game slap bang in the middle of those. So I'll be getting up, I'll be going to London, coming back, see the game, back down to London again. Yes, that's how mental we are as supporters for doing that. But it's going to be very, very intriguing. And I don't expect a defeat, but I don't think these games in the championship will be walkovers now. We're not expecting to win 8s, 9s, 10s now. You might get the one odd freak result here and there, but they're going to be close. And I think a lot of fans will understand, the ones who watch and go to a lot of the games. But I think the general has to understand now that there might be frustration and that's going to come in. So you just got to take a step back and think, wait a minute, we've just had double promotion. It's a bit like Ipswich from the men's. I'm not expecting to roll over teams. Josh has asked there, Lee, if the games won't be on YouTube, will you be live streaming? I can't live stream football content. I can grab little bits and bobs. But some of the away games I'll be looking at to do watch-alongs, like the Manchester United one. That was very successful. Nottingham Forest. Which was the other one? Did we do 3?
Man United.
Man United, Forest.
Because we had that lovely place up the top, Man United, Forest.
St James's Park, we did it at home, yeah.
You did. I didn't remember that one because I was in the stands on that one. You and Johnny won it.
I know Manchester United's away. Wi-Fi is decent, so we'll do that again. That's on a Wednesday night, so that might be a late one getting home, but it's only 2.5 hours. So Josh has gone on to also say the community is amazing. I was there for one day, and I was taken under by the Geordies wing. I think you were undertaken by Bernie, weren't you? I mean, that's an eye opener in itself. as much as we love Bernie, with love from the tune. Joe's
lovely sticker.
We're taken to spoons and much more generosity. This is why I love Newcastle as a whole, such a family as well. Yeah, and Philadelphia is a great city as well, by the way. So that was we've got some little bit of announcement, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we have teamed up with the Pink. Now, the Pink are basically for a younger generation or people watching from abroad. Before the internet came out, before the smartphones, 5:30 on a Saturday, you would get a big newspaper dedicated largely to football. Yes, with some other sport like rugby union and stuff, but a lot of it you can check up on the scores. And there was about 8 pages of Newcastle. It was the modern you go-to place. It was absolutely brilliant. And we've teamed up with the Football Pink. They wanted a little bit more help exposure. And I was thinking outside the box and thinking, well, wait a minute. Joe goes to North Shields. We cover women as well. 2 birds, 1 stone. We're already there. So it won't hurt just to do a quick 2-minute video reaction to it, or even write an article if we've got the time as well. So we've teamed up with the Pink, and Joe's already had a little piece out already, haven't you?
Yeah, the other night it was North Shields versus Redcar Athletic. Fantastic game, and it was funny because I opened the programme and there's the Football Pink right there. And I was just like, this is it. It's full circle. And yeah, done a little roundup for them about the game, which there was a fantastic goal. 2 fantastic goals actually when I've looked back at the footage, which is out on NFTV Extra as well if you want to go have a check off. But no, like doing the Pink and doing it for North Shields, the relationship that I've built with North Shields recently as well has been, it's been nothing short of amazing. It's been nothing short of what the community's like in the Newcastle United Women's. And they were already associated with the Pink, as you've seen there. It was a match made in heaven, really. And when Lee told us about it, I was just like, what? Like he didn't expect me to remember the Pink, but my granddad used to.
I didn't, to be fair.
Yeah, my granddad used to read it. Always remember my granddad reading the Pink. And my dad, and this is the biggest full circle moment. My dad actually worked at the Pink for a
Did
spell
he?
of time. Yeah, he was selling it, and on days when it was a bit quieter, he would actually go into the factory and help them print it and stuff like that. Sometimes they would bring him in and show him how to do the printing, and yeah. So for me to actually now be doing something in conjunction with the Pink, it's phenomenal, and we're going to start trying to cover some more women's teams. There is other non-league teams as well, which with what me and Lee have been discussing, you may end up seeing me and Lee going head to head at one time. We'll never know. We'll never
Potentially,
know.
yeah.
But
I'm waiting to hear back from my daughter, see what she wants to do this weekend, and if not, I've got tomorrow free. So you never know, you never know. But it's great that we've linked up with the Pink, and obviously they're going to get exposure. They're going to be doing it digitally, and
yeah,
they're also doing a print copy as well. So make sure you have a look. It's called the Football Pink. My memories, as I say, 5:30. I was a young kid, couldn't get a football. Nobody would take it to St James's Park, and that was my memory. 5:30, I would listen to Metro Radio. 3 o'clock or 5, straight up the shop, go and get the Pink. See all the scores. See Wickham have played. See if Newcastle Benfield have played. See who anyone, all the non-league teams, and it was absolutely class seeing the headlines and basically just learning.
yeah,
It was learning. That was my memory of the Pink. Absolutely brilliant to do some stuff with them as well. So it goes to show you that you work hard, you graft hard, the reaps the rewards as well. So that's lovely. And big shout out to the Pink. We'll be assisting them as well this weekend, which I've got press pass access to the women's game. So I'll be bringing you all the usual stuff. Josh, if you need to reach out to me personally, I'll give you the email. It's info@newcastlefanstv.com. That's info@newcastlefanstv.com. Pop us an email and I can reply there. Me and Sam run the email, so you can have a look at that. Thomas has said, good about Kelly. I shouldn't be as a squad amend. Yeah, I don't think she's too far out though.
no.
So I don't think it is because obviously we're spoken to our dad a couple of weeks back. We're going to just quickly rattle through before we wrap up some of them clues again before we reveal the answer. So Joe's going to squeal all the way back up. Clue 1. I currently wear the number 4 shirt. Who am I? Now, if we have a look at clue 2, I also have a career outside of football. So who get your thinking caps on dead quickly. Clue 3 is I am one of the big contingent of ex-Newcastle players at Middlesbrough. I said Newcastle at Middlesbrough. So I wear the number 4 shirt. I'm at Middlesbrough. I used to be an ex-Newcastle player, and I also have a career outside of football. Who am I? Who am I? We'll give it a minute or two. I'll read a couple of comments up and reveal who that is. Wayne says a draw down there will be decent. So I'll go 1-1. No easy games in this league. Tonali showing his class for Italy in the first half with a great assist. Good to hear. Good to hear. Also, Sanusi has scored today, by the way, and so has Osler has scored today as well for the youth teams, which is great. And Josh says, cheers, mate. Shall we reveal it? Yes, we will. Let's do it. So the answer for the little trivia is Beth Guy.
Well done, Angela.
Well done, Angela. Trying to spoil the party there, Angela. I guess instead early, weren't you?
I was about to say, right, when Angela Hoyder commented, I was about to say, I am banking on Angela to get this. I was about to say, do you know what, guys? And she literally posted it, and I was like,
oh, no!
You had to cover there, because I nearly give the whole, I think I might have given the whole thing away, but, oh yeah, well done, Angela. I knew you would get it.
Well done, Angela. You win nothing. Just our gratitudes. That's all you win. Lots of love. Lots of love. I'll see you on Sunday. But yeah, by the way, just off the record, Joe tried to do one with me and it was just way too hard. Very, very hard. If you want to put in the comments, Joe, I don't know if you got the list up. If you want to answer them, you can put it in the comments underneath the video, not the live comments. Yeah. Underneath. I'll let you go on then. Wrap it up with a little quiz for everyone else to put in the comments after the show.
I haven't got them up quite quick enough, but no, wait, I have. Should I put my clues out, should I?
Yeah, go on then, and people can try and guess in the comments.
Guys, underneath the video, once the video is out, or tweeters, Instagram, whatever, send us who you think this is. Clue number 1. This player started at North Shields Athletic. Clue number 2. This player has played youth for England. Clue number 3. This player is currently out on loan from Newcastle United.
No, he didn't say that when I did it.
And I know I didn't. That is, I should have redone that. And then clue number 4. My middle name is the same first name as a particular Newcastle United women's fan favourite. So clue 1, Started at North Shields Athletic. Clue 2, played youth for England. Clue 3, I currently don't play for NUFC. I am on loan from NUFC currently. And clue 4, my middle name is the same first name as a fan favourite. Angela, you need to stop putting us off in these bloody streams, because that was both of us who laughed at that one.
She's
But that
easy,
alone,
please, man. Buy me a sausage
I
roll. She's easy, please. The Greg's one, I'm guessing.
we
Probably, I
will.
can't take the Greg's out of Newcastle and then Newcastle out the Greg's girl, can you?
Yeah.
No, buy me a sausage roll. Right, that is a wrap, everyone. Just over an hour. We'd like to keep it around about there. I've timed that spot on. We were going to do this podcast after the women's game. I'm pleased we've done this now, Joe, because would have had to rattle all the way through that as well as the match. So obviously, we are playing London City Lionesses this Sunday. I'll be down there getting all the coverage. Just down there, you'll see all the usual people on camera when I'm walking around and saying hello to Angela, Cozy, and Dave, Lorraine, and whoever has made the journey, Matt, all of them, etc., etc., etc. Enjoyed controlling tonight, Joe?
It's been fun. I don't think there's been many things that I've messed up on.
No?
I even done that hard one, the video one. I got
I
that
don't
nailed
know what
on.
it means, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. You know what I mean. There's been some difficult parts to the listeners that I've had to do in quick action, and for my first time doing it, I've enjoyed it, Lee. Hopefully I've done a good enough job, kept things rolling nicely. Looking forward to in the future fully setting up my own. Ooh,
that's probably the next step, isn't it? Yeah, yes. Actually, not control. Maybe you can control others, so we'll go live on the channel as well. Oh. So that's something that you could look at. But yes, if you haven't already, drop us a massive like on it. This is the most interactive NUFC women's show on YouTube by quite a distance with all the graphics. So drop us a massive like for the effort that me and Joe have done this for now for you. Come on. But that's it from me and Joe. I'll let you end the stream. Joe, thank you very much. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.